Hello everyone. In this video, we will have solving quadratic equations by completing the square. Now let's review this one first. Here in the first column, they are in power forms. These are the expanded form and these are the squares of this one. Now in algebra, quantity x plus 3 square is also a perfect square. Now squaring this binomial, we will have the expanded form x plus 3 times x plus 3. Or, using the FOIL method, we will have this x squared plus 3x and 3 times 3, we will get 9. Combining 3x and 3x, we will end up with x squared plus 6x plus 9. Or basically, the square of a binomial is a perfect square trinomial. Okay, let's have this. Now, all of these are binomials and they are squared. And these are their corresponding perfect square trinomial. Now, let's observe the pattern. Now, what can you say with the terms in the perfect square trinomial with respect to the binomial terms? Now, this one, the first term, x, and this is x squared. This is 2x, and this is 4x squared, and this is 3x, and this is 9x squared. So the first term is basically the square of the first term. Another one. What about the last terms in the trinomial? These are 1, 4. If this is 3, this is 9. If this is negative 4, this is 16. And if this is negative 5, this is 25. So the last terms here are basically the square of the second term here. And what about the second term? You have there 2x, we have 4x, we have here 12x, and this is negative 8x and negative 30x. Now, how are the second terms obtained? They are basically the product of the first term and the second term and double it or times 2. Let's have an example. 3x times negative 5 is negative 15 times 2, we have 30x. Another one. X times negative 4 is negative 4x times 2, you will get negative 8x. So therefore, to square a binomial is basically square the first, multiply the first, the second, and 2 to get the second term. And to get the last term is square the second term. Now, let's have an example. How to solve quadratic equation by completing the square. So these are the steps. It's quite long. Okay, let's have an example. X squared plus 6x plus 8 equals 0. In this case, the value for a is already 1. So therefore, we will group all the terms, unknown terms in one side and the constant to the other side. So transferring a to the other side, it will become negative 8. Next step, get half of the coefficient of the linear term, then square it. So half of 6 is 3. And square 3, you will get 9. So add 9 to both sides of the equation. So you will get this one. Now, with the left side, rewrite this in binomial form. So the square root of x squared is x. The square root of 9 is 3. And the sign of the second term is positive. Then square that. So negative 8 plus 9, you will get 1. Next step, take the square root of both sides. So with this, we can cancel the radical sign and the power. And the square root of 1 is plus and minus 1. So transfer 3 to the other side. So group all the constant at the right side. So you will get this one. So the first root would be negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. And the second root would be negative 3 minus 1 equals negative 4. So therefore, the roots for x squared plus 6x plus 8 are negative 2 and negative 4. Now let's have another example. Now with this one, Transfer negative 1 to the other side because it's constant, so you will get 1. With this, get half of the second term, then square it. Half of negative 2 is negative 1. Square it, you will get 1. So therefore, add 1 to both sides. Now rewrite this to binomial term. So square root of x squared is x, and the square root of 1 is also 1. Now the term in the second term is negative, so therefore it's negative 1. Then 1 plus 1, you will get 2. Next step, get the square root to both sides. So you can cancel the radical sign and the power, you will get x minus 1. Square root of 2 is basically plus and minus square root of 2. Transfer 1 to the other side, you will get 1 plus and minus square root of 2. So the first root would be 1 plus square root of 2. The second root is 1 minus square root of 2. Now, what if the second term is no longer even? What if it is odd? How are you going to do it? Let's have an example. So in this case, transfer 8 to the other side, it will become negative 8. Now in this case, take note, get half of the second term. So half of negative 3 is negative 3 over 2. Now square this, you will get positive 9 over 4. So therefore, add 9 over 4 to both sides. Next step, rewrite this to binomial term. You will get square root of x squared is x, square root of 9/4 is 3/2. Sign of the second term is negative. Now in this case, 4 times negative 8 is negative 32. This is over 1. 1 times 9, you will get 9. Then it's over 4. In this case, combine negative 32 and 9, so you will get negative 23 over 4. Next step, get the square root to both sides. You cancel the radical sign and 2. You will get x minus 3 over 2 is equal to plus and minus. Take note, negative 23 is negative. So square root of that is plus and minus square root of 23i. And the square root of 4 is 2. So therefore, transfer negative 3/2 to the other side. You will get 3/2 plus and minus square root of 23i over 2. So the first root would be 3/2 plus square root of 23i over 2. And the second root is 3/2 minus square root of 23i over 2. Now, let's have another example when a is already greater than 1. So take note, the rule here is if a is greater than 1, divide both sides of the equation by a. Let's have an example. In this case, the value for a is 2. So therefore, divide the entire equation by 2. So with this, we will end up with x squared. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. So in this case, transfer 5, negative 5 to the other side, you will get 5. So complete the square. Half of 4 is 2. Square 2, you will get 4. Therefore, add 4 to both sides. Now rewrite this to binomial term. You will get x square root of 4 is 2. Sign of the second term is plus, so square. 5 plus 4 is 9. Get the square root to both sides, cancel the radical sign and 2, and square root of 9 is plus and minus 3. Transpose or transfer 2 to the other side, you will get negative 2 plus and minus 3. So the first root would be negative 2 plus 3 or 1, and the second root would be negative 2 minus 3, it's negative 5. So take note, completing the square, these are the steps to be followed. Now what if the equation given cannot be solved by extracting the root, it cannot be solved by factoring, or it cannot be solved by completing the square? How are you going to do it? We will have it in our next video. Thank you.